Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of CardBlitz. This is episode 24. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, and I'm joined by my good buddy, my good friend, Patrick Marshall. Patrick, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing? Great. Thanks, Kelly. We're doing
Doing
good.
well, man. Doing well. So, tell us about what you've been up to, man. You've been doing like a little dad life stuff, right?
Oh, staying busy, man. Camping with the kids, doing the fun stuff and the fun life. And it's been busy. Summer's in effect. We'll put it that way.
Did you take like a graded like Jeff Bagwell card and like take it to the woods with you and like enjoy the scenic moments there with Jeff Bagwell?
No, but I took a Frank Wright card and I shot BBs through it. It felt great.
You're reliving your youth. The idea was to spend time.
I'm just kidding.
Yes,
I'm
man.
totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Dude, they'll have their up in arms. I'll be like, oh my God, dude.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was a Randall Cunningham card. I admit. I'm sorry.
Truth is told, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Randall. Even if you
Yeah.
were a cowboy for a minute, Eagles QB at one point. Well, man, we got an NHL like Stanley Cup champion.
Yes, we do.
Apparently, the Panthers did it, right?
Florida dominated. So I've been paying attention to this series, the last 2 weeks, and Edmonton was on the cusp, but you could just tell the talent was there at Florida. I mean, I turned on the game last night. It was 3-0 in the second period. I go, whoa, what's going on here? This is the clinching game. Florida's up, and they can win it. They're up 3-2, and Edmonton just not look. I watched the whole third period, and they did not look good at all. And Florida scored in the third, and they just took it. I mean, they were well deserved, and I think that team that's kind of a dynasty in hockey.
Well, yeah, I think
Pretty impressive.
they made three appearances in a row. They won back
They
to
won
back.
back to back. Correct. Yeah. So that's a dynasty. I mean, they are doing something right. So
Well, I wonder, like, the hot players on that team, see what their card prices are doing and see what the demand is on them. So we'll see, man.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Marshawn's cards. He's 37 years old. His rookie out there that is getting scooped up off eBay. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look and see what's going on with
Get a
that.
Marshawn PSA 10. What do you cost you? $40? I have no idea. So
No idea.
six goals in the postseason. I mean, amazing.
Hmm.
So in the finals, I think. So pretty cool.
Well, you want to talk a little NBA hoops for a second because that game might be determined tomorrow night. That title,
Did you hear that? I thought I heard the Halliburton was questionable.
his leg, something about it might have done a strain or something like that back in
So
game.
do you think Indiana has an answer for that, Kelly? I mean, I'm not quite sure what they can do without him. I mean, he doesn't score that many points, kind of like SGA, but
He
I think he's very
facilitates.
important.
He
He's valuable.
facilitates, yeah, and he gets in there and he disrupts other teams' defense. So, man, and after what was it J Dub from the Thunder? He put up like 40 points in like game five, and
Yeah.
man,
Well, I don't think that can happen again. I mean, that's a unique situation where he carried the game. So I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, yeah, I think Oklahoma City's the Thunder are looking pretty good right now. If Halliburton's really injured like they said he is, so
well, hey, it's win or go home for the Pacers. So we'll see if Rick Carlisle has a few more tricks up his sleeve and see what he does, right?
yeah. Didn't Rick Carlisle manage was he the coach of the Pacers like back like 30 years ago? And then he went to the Mavericks, and he went back to the Pacers. What's up with that guy?
Yeah, a little bit of that Indiana lifestyle, Nap Town. It's good to him.
That's right, correct.
Well, hey, we always talk about birthdays, man. So let's talk birthdays. Who you
You know
got
what?
today, man?
So born on this day, June 24th, or I'm sorry, June 18th, is the one and only this guy who was a stud, Andres Galarraga,
Oh, how about that?
the big cat, and not just one, Andres Galarraga. Two rookie cards from the big. I mean, this guy was amazing. I was really surprised, Kelly, when I looked up his stats because he was huge at Colorado for 4 years. Started off the Expos. I mean, he was known for his defensive prowess, but his power really came later in his career. One of those hitters that develops after they say 26 years old is their power years, 26, 27.
Hmm.
I would disagree. I think maybe 30, 31 was for Andres Galarraga, but um, he was getting the at bats, and the guy hit 399 home runs, had like 2,350 hits. I mean, I didn't realize he had that many hits, but I was very impressed with he had almost 1,500 RBIs, like 1,450
Hmm.
or 1,425, which in Major League Baseball, think about that. That's almost 15 seasons with 100 RBIs. That's like upper echelon level of we're not talking Hank Aaron, but we're talking like the Tony Perez's, the guys that would knock in runs when you needed them to. I mean, pretty impressive.
Yeah, well,
Mickey Mantle's got to be around there too.
I was gonna say, for I remember Galarraga mainly from his time in Colorado with the Rockies,
Yeah.
and so I pulled a 1996
Oh yeah.
per deck
And
SP.
what's he doing? He's fielding there. What he's known for.
Yeah, and I like the wood grain border on it. Kind of mimics
I've
that
never seen that before, Kelly.
variation
That's
to it.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then 96 was the year he had 47 home runs. He had 150 RBIs.
Yeah, that was a monster year.
So
Probably batted
that's what
like
I remember.
he batted 325 probably or 330. I mean, the guy was a good hitter.
Dude, that whole lineup there in Colorado in the mid 90s.
Well,
You had
I would,
Dante Bichette, you had Galarraga,
well,
you had
Dante Bichette
Walker.
was probably protecting, or maybe he was protecting Dante Bichette. Could have been. You never know.
Dude, I'm just saying that they had their fearsome foursome, and they were quite formidable.
Yeah,
Up there in Denver.
but I mean, he was a great player. I mean, one of those guys that probably should be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe he's the cusp guy. I mean, we talked about, so
Yeah.
you never know.
Well, he might get in the future. We'll see.
Yeah,
Well, Andres, if you're watching, man, if any of your friends tell you about this, you're always welcome to join us here at Card Blitz. Talk cards, have fun, recollect on the good times, right? Do a little recall.
that's right. That's right. Good. I like it.
Well, man, you got some cards you want to show off?
I do, and this one will be special to you, Kelly, because this guy went to the one and only University of Texas.
Oh, that's a sweet card.
59 tops, Bobby Lane. I have it in my collection. I've had it for a long time. I always thought he was an incredible player back in the day,
Definitely.
and I thought this card resonated with me. I like the bubble, like it's cool on the bottom, the writing,
Yeah,
and
well, no,
it's
yeah,
it's a
the
it's a
way they
card
did
from the
graphics
50s.
back then, and well, yeah, 59 heading into 60, and so yeah, they're experimenting and playing around, and the way that's laid out, 1960 Topps Baseball copied that the next
Yeah, trying to get that thing out there. But dude,
yeah,
this card is awesome, man. I mean, it's pretty
it
cool.
looks sharp too, man.
It is. It's got good color. I mean, good presentation. I mean, and this card is what? It's like 66 years old, something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a long time. What about you, Kelly?
Well, for me, man, with our guest coming on later on tonight, had Aaron send me another 1973 Topps football card. It's
Nice.
a set that I've been working on, and so Aaron Waxenfelter, he's been helping me out with this, and that's always a good feeling. And then none other than Mark Ford from Stream of Card Consciousness, our brothers on another YouTube channel. He sent me a care package that blew my mind, and I mean, I was shocked. He sent me a stack of Hideo Nomo cards,
Well done, Mark.
dude. I mean, I'm telling you,
Nice, dude.
Mark,
Look at that, dude. Nice, brother.
he
Nice.
he knows I collect Hideo Nomo. Mark, thank you so much. And I wanted to let you know that my favorite card of all these cards you sent was this one from Denny's. And it's like this hologram, and it shows Nomo pitching.
Wow.
And it's just kind of a different, you know, interesting looking card, man.
What
So
was that? Was that the Grand Slam breakfast? I mean, I mean,
yeah, probably
I mean, wow.
get breakfast, get a card.
Eat
So,
more than 8 pancakes, get a card. Sweet.
but yeah, Mark. So come on down to Dallas, man. We'll go back to the IHOP, man. We'll or Denny's. We'll attack the Grand Slam breakfast, man. We'll talk cards and yeah, it was fun, man. And
That's cool.
certainly appreciate him sending me that, and opening up that care package. And he embodies a lot of the good in this hobby, man. He's been promoting our show on his channel and his network, and certainly we want him back on as well as Greg Smith in the future. So definitely, we're going to try to make that happen towards the end of July.
Yeah, cool, man. I've got one more card to show for in honor of the Waxenfelter brothers. That check this card out. I love this card.
Fran.
The Fran Tarkenton 1978 tops. I mean, and this kind of ties in with what I saw on their YouTube channel where they talked about Ahmad Rashad getting ready
Hmm.
to go into like entertainment, sports, sports telecasting and stuff like that. Fran, this is I think his first card that he decided to do that towards the end of his career,
Yeah.
and then it was pretty cool.
That's a clean 78 tops football card, man.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, dude. I loved it. It was pretty cool. So I thought they'd like that. So that was my favorite card. Like, because I mean, I remember watching him and dude, the guy would never, I mean, he would never be tackled. He'd run out of bounds or just lay down on himself. He would just never, no one could ever get him.
He was a scrambler, man. And
He
so
was. He invented scrambling, I think.
in the early 60s when he came into the league,
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty cool.
definitely, coaches want their quarterbacks to sit back there in the pocket and, throw those precision passes. But, you got someone like Deacon Jones barreling down. You got to scramble. You got to move. Bob Lilly chasing you. You've got to go, right?
Well, I was shocked. I did not know he went to Georgia. This is, I mean, I'm in the mecca of
Yeah.
Southeast SEC here in, SEC here in Charlotte. And I'm like, I had no idea.
Hmm.
I mean, I'd be surprised if half the Georgia fans around here even heard of him. So,
I,
but
I think Frank Tarkenton's still a big name. I think if you're over the age of probably 30, you
yeah,
probably
but
know who
being
Fran
6 foot 190, he had to run for his life. So,
is.
so
Nice.
what else we got going, Kelly? What's happening?
I was to say, man, let's get ready to bring on Aaron and Royce in a few minutes, and then
Okay, cool.
catch up with them, man.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, y'all,
Definitely.
we are joined by the Waxenfelter brothers, Aaron and Royce. Gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Doing great.
Great, great. Thanks for having us, Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Patrick, again, man,
Awesome.
these guys are gurus when it comes to some of this old school football from the 70s and 80s, and definitely want to pick their brains and get to know what they're thinking,
Oh, I
man.
love it. Yeah, I've seen some of the shows. I'm like, this is cool. It's right
Yeah.
up my alley. I
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
hey, before we even get started, Aaron was talking about birthdays, and so I think he's got one he wants to celebrate before we even like start getting after this Q&A stuff.
All right,
Yeah,
cool. Let's
I
do it.
just had to because this guy right here is one of my
Oh,
favorite players of all time.
yep.
It's
Nice.
Bruce Smith, and today's his birthday, and he, I believe, is the best defensive end in league history. Reggie White and Deacon Jones are right there. But what this guy did is he did that 200 sacks mostly in a 3-4 defense.
Yeah, he did.
So he was double teamed. He was not edge rushing. He was like on the edge of the guard, getting double teamed and amazing. And all the stuff I read about him, everybody's like
You,
he's a
you know
freak
why?
athlete.
Because his arms are as big as your thighs. That's why.
Yes,
He was amazing. I mean, the guy
and
was
probably his
huge.
neck too.
He
Was
was amazing.
did Mr. Smith did he attend Vatech as for his 4 year
Yep,
university?
yep. And he was the number one pick in '85, and he was a little overweight when he came to the Bills, and then he got himself down to like 2% body fat, weighing like 280 pounds. So he was just a
Studied
freak.
beast mode.
Yeah, and he was amazing. I
Oh,
went to my first Bills home game, and he did the public address. So it was like
oh,
I was
cool.
on
That's
cloud
cool.
nine. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, the power off the line and then just using his arms just to swim through the guard and the tackle. I mean, he was huge. He was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Definitely.
if people did it like that.
Anchor of that defensive unit for years. So, well, let me just ask you guys, man, straight up, like, hobby origin story. How'd y'all get into cards? Both of y'all brothers? Like, I'm curious.
I'll
Well,
let you
we
go
started,
first, Royce, since you're oldest.
yeah, we started back in 74 was the first cards we really had. And I was 5 years old. Aaron was like three. We lived in Arkansas where football was everything. So we started collecting baseball cards and football cards, but really got into football cards. And back then, uh, kind of the 75 top set is the ones we originally started with. And then also that Wonder Bread 76 set and then 76. So that was the era we really started and just were like massively into. both baseball and football for a while, but then we kind of petered out on baseball in the early 80s and went pure football. Although in the 90s I went back, got into some basketball stuff, but by then it was just the value had totally dropped out of everything. But that's kind of where how we got started. But then when the USFL came to Portland, we had moved to Portland since. So when the USFL came to Portland in '85, we
Yeah.
were just huge fans and had season tickets and got to go to the games and really kind of elevated our level of fandom.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got season tickets for Christmas that year because it was spring league. So we got season tickets for Christmas, $30 for season tickets.
Wow.
It was general admission, so kind of everybody. So not one game for $30, a whole like 9 games, $30.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing, and we got to see Kelly and Young and all those guys, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, how about the Seahawks? Were y'all big supporters of them as well on the NFL side of the equation?
Yeah.
They were our local team, so they were as close as we could get, so 3 hours away. We didn't go to a lot of games until I had a friend who was able to take me to some games, and I've been to probably, I'd say, around 30 games in my lifetime, Seahawks games. So it's
Oh wow.
not too far away and super fun. So yeah, we're Seahawks fans by location, like geographically, they're our team, but he's a Bills fan, I'm a Vikings fan. So,
Yep.
You can't deny the Jim Zorn to Steve Largent
oh,
connection for those years that were there. I mean, wow, that was
yeah.
magical.
That was right
Yeah,
when we moved to Portland. It was their
Yeah.
first year, and they started that connection right away. And we were just, and honestly, that was all they would show on our network. Whenever they were on Sunday, it was always the Seahawks game was pushed to us.
Okay.
So that was our game, our local game that we would see every week. So we got to see a lot of Zorn to Largent.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then, speaking NFL, then, Royce, how did you end up with the Vikings? And then, Aaron, how'd you end up with like the Bills? I mean, aren't these like different conferences that kind of, I mean,
Very different.
door, it's
I
an
started in '74, the Super Bowl against the Steelers. My uncle was a huge Steelers fan because all my family on my dad's side is from Pittsburgh. They were all rooting for the Steelers, and I was just an obnoxious kid who wanted to root against him. And I rooted for the Vikings and have been rooting ever since.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
little contrarianism, I see.
Yeah,
And
and I went for the
That's cool.
Bills for no football reason whatsoever. I just liked their little helmet, and I was a kid, and I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
So I liked their logo, and then when the '82 Tops set came out with the logo on it and the old school look, that's when I was like, "Okay, I'm all in." And then I've been a fan since. But I really liked them in the. Luckily, I was too young to really know much about OJ, so I was more in the Joe Cribbs, Joe
Yeah.
Ferguson,
Yeah.
that kind of era, and they had this good defense called the Bermuda Triangle. So they were kind of good in the early '80s, which helped solidify it. But I went to a Seahawks game up in Seattle versus the Bills this past year, and the difference in my ticket between when I logged on and when I bought the ticket 10 minutes later was $45.
Wow.
So I logged on to get my ticket, and then they raised it by the time I paid for my ticket.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which was more than our season tickets back in '85. So
I mean,
the prices have gone up.
you have a quarterback who's a stud in the league.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Josh
it was
Allen
a great
is
game,
he's passed
and
Jim Kelly passed the torch to him, so
yeah, definitely. And
kind of
it
cool.
was interesting. The game was like half Bills fans. And when I went, my last game I went to up in Seattle was in '04, and I was like the Lone Ranger Bill fan. And this time it was like Bills Mafia like came in, and Josh Allen has really revitalized the fan base and made it way
Yeah.
different.
well, also though with uh, Josh Allen going to Wyoming, being a cowboy, I mean, isn't that neck of the woods? Would you have a lot of Wyoming fans come out
Yeah,
to
it
see
was
him play in
interesting.
Seattle?
Yeah, it was interesting in Seattle, but when I went to the game in Buffalo, there was tons of Wyoming fans that flew to Buffalo, and
Hmm.
I was on their flight. So there was all this brown and gold like clad folks, and the row in front of me at the game was all Wyoming folks. So it was really interesting. Like he's brought everybody in Wyoming now as a Bills fan because of Josh Allen. So
Yeah.
so it's kind of interesting.
Well, let me ask y'all one more quick question because Aaron and I we've made a few trades of cards here and there, and Patrick, you and I have over the years. Royce, I mean, do you are you actively like trading cards as well with other folks, or is it just
Not
you
like
and your
Aaron.
brother, or?
Yeah, not as much, but what I do, I've started collecting a few of the newer, and I'll show a couple. I'm into the spring football still, so I've got like the modern USFL card that they made. I got that set,
Oh, that's cool.
which was the 23 set. And then when they changed to the UFL, they stopped doing that, and then they only go E-Pack. But I've got a Case Cookus card here. I hope you can see it.
Yeah.
So this is the UFL set that's currently out, but it's only E-Pack. So I'm
I'm a
starting
simple
with that.
man. Royce, what is an e-pack?
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm curious too.
Electronic pack, but I mean, what
well,
does this mean
it's
in English, right?
Yeah,
in
for us
English,
old
Upper
guys.
Deck has E-Packs, which means you only buy them online until you get three of the same card of the lowest level parallel, and then you can basically trade that in, and they'll email you the actual card. But you have to get three parallel of one guy first, and
Really?
And then you
frankly,
print it from the email?
no, they
They mail a hard
mail it
copy.
to you,
Oh, they
mail a hard
mail it.
copy to you.
Okay. I thought you said
Once
email.
you
Okay.
basically click the trade in, or it's like a everything is online at first until you build up enough to actually click like send me my card, and then they'll send it to you.
So you
But
really have
it's
credits in a sense, and then they're like, "Hey, you got enough credits for the actual tangible product. You
yes,
go cash
but
it in."
it's so expensive because you have to buy so many packs, and it's not cheap to buy a pack. I mean, it's like you would in a any other card, but then you have to get three to get one. And getting
Huh.
that third one, it just takes so many packs of them that I find it not worth it. So I really am not into collecting. What I've done is I've replaced that hobby with making my own custom cards. So like here's a Luis Perez that I made. So I made a set of the
Nice.
current UFL. So I've got that going on, and I just make them for me, not for resale. But
Right,
it's
right. That's cool.
so much. It's the
Royce,
hobby
man, you're
now
gonna have to
has.
send Patrick and me like an autographed, Royce and Aaron Waxenfelter card since you got this technology
Dude,
and skill set. And
Hey,
the
greatest,
one play,
dude.
that one play looked like a tarantula. You could sign the tarantula. I mean, what was that? The guy upside down,
oh,
twisting.
he's a long snapper.
Oh,
This
this
guy,
guy's.
he's
I
a
was
long
like
snapper,
going,
so it's just the
does he
front
have eight
view.
legs?
So
What's going on there?
yeah,
Yeah, right. The days of Jim Otto, right? Double zero.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then, how'd y'all get into? So y'all were watching these games in the mid '80s, UFL or USFL games. How'd y'all like get into the USFL card collecting game then?
That's a good question. They only sold them the 84 and 85 USFL sets, so the only two that came out, and they only sold them in a market set, they called them. So you could
So
only
here's
get them
the
by set.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was wondering where those were distributed to. Were they pharmacies like Eckerd's back in the day, or
We got
Target?
ours at a card shop, right?
Card shop or mail in. Yeah, you could actually
Okay,
go like mail tops and send them your money. But we got ours from local card shops would have them.
okay.
We
Yeah,
had a
and you could not,
great.
there were no packs and there were
Nope.
no other way to buy it but the set.
Yep.
And the set was pretty cheap. I think it was like $10 for the whole set, 132 cards.
Yeah.
So the premier edition was 84 and then the second one was 85. Um, but but you have some pretty good cards in there too. You've got Jim Kelly rookie, you got the Steve Young rookie, you got Herschel
Oh yeah.
Walker rookie, you got Reggie White rookie. Those are all 84s. Even though Young and Kelly didn't play in 84, they made a card for them because they were the big
Well, I
names.
mean, I grew up in Houston, and I could not find those. And the Houston Gamblers were huge, and they
Yeah.
were dominant. They dominated USFL. I mean, Jim Kelly threw for like 5,000 yards, if I'm not
Oh.
mistaken.
Yeah,
And
He
yeah.
crushed us when he
I
came to
remember I
Portland.
could not find any of those cards, but Mike Rozier came out of Nebraska. I think he went to USFL as well, and I was like,
Mhm.
going, where do I buy these? And I couldn't find them. So
Yeah.
it's unique that when after they came out, one of my buddies is really 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 into them in Texas, and I go, "This you got these USFL cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, but where do you get them?" And I had no idea. And
Yep.
so I think you're right with the card shops. It's about the only or a card, one of the baseball card shows back in the day, you could
Yeah.
get them. They have some guy have like 8 or 10 like sets of them, but I should have scooped them up at the time, but
Oh, we
Yeah.
should have too.
I,
Yeah.
I, I, I have the 85 Doug Flutie, but I can't find it. It's somewhere in my house.
I've got a couple here. I'll show one of my favorite players, Anthony Carter, who also went to play on for the Vikings. This is his 85. He was the Michigan Panthers
Yeah,
originally, 83 and 84, and then 85, the Panthers merged with the Invaders. So he was on the Invaders for this card, but
nice.
um, it's kind of crazy how that went. But the Panthers
Yeah.
just were in the new modern UFL championship game just this last Sunday, so Saturday.
Okay.
So Panthers are back. It's pretty awesome seeing the Panthers again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get cards now if they're commons, you can get them on eBay for about $1.50 or whatever for the common cards. The more popular card, depending on if it's graded or not, is going to be more. But my
And
local
you're
card
talking the
shop,
original 80 sets, right?
yeah, the 80,
Yeah.
80
Very good.
485.
Yeah. I was trying to find a graded like 9 or 10 of the showboats, like Reggie and stuff. But I was like, wow, they're kind of
Yeah.
pricey at the shows, man. People know
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I guess the jig is up, kind of thing on that. So,
Well,
yeah.
part of it is they only sold them in those market sets, so they were really rare, and the rarity lasts value.
and the back side of that, man, the color print on the top would always have like little nicks on the back on the top of
Yeah.
it, like the
Yeah.
85 Donruss. Remember the 85 Donruss baseball? Same thing, like
Yep.
crisp card, but it could never be absolutely perfect because
Yeah,
of the
that's
color.
what I was reading about it, Patrick, is because it's that bright pink too,
Yeah,
so the
yes,
contrast is so much.
the
And then
contrast is correct. Yes, that's right, man. That's
yeah,
right.
and then it would fade too, so it wouldn't be bright enough, so it'd fade. So you'd get like, ones that were kind of like too faded out to get a good grade.
Yeah.
So the graded ones are I just have, we have our original 2 boxes and we're just not touching those. And then I bought a second box that had some damage on eBay for about $40, that, I just found. Um, but but the graded ones, the more rare
Yeah.
ones, the Reggie White went for $23,700
Yeah,
for
that's what I'm talking.
him.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Herschel Walker was a stud. I would love to get a
Yeah.
Herschel Walker graded card like that too. But I'm like, okay, wait a second, time out.
Yeah.
I got 3 kids, college education coming up. I'm like, I need to discuss this with myself.
get some raw ones if you like them, or get some raw ones in some good shape. But
Right.
yeah, they can be up there. Like the Kelly gradeds are a little more common. I don't know why. There's just more of them out there, but he's
Okay.
about $4,500.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Herschel Walker's about $9,000. Steve Young, he's about 16. These are for tens.
Oh, okay. Are these
And
PSAs?
then,
Are these
yeah,
PSAs?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Reggie White's like 23 grand.
Yeah, Reggie White's is dominating, man. He's got the market. I mean,
Yeah,
but he's also got that. He had that power too. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I
He's
did
good.
see, I forget this other brand that does grading that's not PSA, and some of those, that graded pretty high were pretty cheap, a couple $100 comparatively.
Right.
I'm
So a
a
lot of it is you're
cheapskate.
paying for the grade.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
cheapskate, so I have a $100 card limit, and I rarely ever get anywhere near that. I think actually the most I've ever paid for a card is $12. So I do more
Wow.
trading, and I'm not into the grading. So I'm like, hey, if it's beat up, hey, that's fine. I want the card because I'm more like I'm in for the player and for the look of the card rather than like, is it a perfect card?
Yeah, you actually you remember the player and that guy. Like a Chuck
Yeah.
Muncie rookie, you're like, yes, I'll pay $10 for that. But
Yeah.
that's it.
Well,
Just the fandom, really.
Let me ask you this, Aaron, because like I met you virtually via Facebook initially. Is
Right.
it a USFL like group like there are for like NFL cards?
There's not a card group.
Or collecting groups or
There are guys who collect a lot of stuff, and especially a lot of the jerseys and whatnot. But there's some USFL groups, but it's not necessarily card. It's more collectible. And I joined a USFL fantasy league this year, which was fun because
Whoa.
it was the players from 83, 84, 85, and you drafted your player, but then you had to pick which week you were going to play him and which points you were going to use that week. So it was a different strategy for sure. I got second place. But I had to pull out all my good players to make the finals, and then I didn't have enough points to do anything in the championship. But yeah, but there's some people out there that are really into it. One guy in particular that he is just like
Yeah.
he all day every day. He posts all these old articles. It's called USFL Then and Now, and he posts all these articles, from the newspapers back then, and box scores and whatnot every single day.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So you can
So,
find them, and it's pretty fun to still like have your toe in it. And then like the fantasy league brought something out new for me this year that was like, hey, I'm active in, you know, playing with these other guys, and my team name was the Portland Breakers. So I was like, I am the GM of the Breakers this year. So
yeah.
that was kind of cool and kind of fun.
Now there is modern UFL card Facebook sites. One that I follow is done by Jake Milligan, who makes his own custom UFL cards,
Right.
and he goes to the games and gets them signed by players and gives them to players, which is really cool. So check that one out. I think it's just called UFL Cards on Facebook.
That's
So
cool. Yeah,
Definitely.
that Sam Mills card, that rookie card he had, like 85, I think. Dude, that's. I mean, I'm in Charlotte. I mean, I think
nice.
that thing is Sam Mills. We bang the drum for every home game for him,
Yep.
so it's pretty cool.
We
Yeah.
both love Sam Mills. Sam Mills
Yeah,
is one
he's
of our
awesome.
all-time
He's
favorites.
a great player, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam Mills,
And
he's one of
Vaughn
my favorite.
Johnson too. Vaughn Johnson too. That team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But Sam Mills is one of my favorite USFL stories because he was short and
Yes,
nobody gave
that's
him a
right.
chance. And nobody drafted him. A couple people had him in camp, but just cut him because he was too short. So he went up to the USFL, did awesome.
Yeah.
Won 2 championships, was in a third. He was amazing, all pro, all 3 years. So then his coach Jim Mora went to the Saints and signed him.
Yep.
He was like,
Yep.
I
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
have my
That's right.
guy. And then he just did awesome in the NFL. But if there was no USFL,
No,
he would
I
have
don't
just
think a
got
guy like that
cut.
would have made it.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, he might have
Well, he
showed up
tried.
in the CFL
Yeah.
or something, or
He was
but
in the
He was
Browns
5'10"
training
and a
camp.
half,
They
but
cut him.
he was really 5'9" and a half, maybe. I mean, but he was a
Yeah.
stud. Yeah, he
yeah,
Yep.
he had that Singletary like aggressive to him. Yeah, he was aggression. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
yeah. So, do you mind if I show a couple cards, Kelly?
No, be my guest, man.
All
Teach.
right.
We're here to learn.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to show some examples. So this is the 84 set. So it's got that red, white, and blue theme on it. And then I like the old school helmet down there at the bottom. And kind of like we already showed, it's got that pink and blue background, which is kind of a funny choice. And
Very
then at the
80s,
bottom,
that color scheme, right?
yeah. At the bottom, it's called Useful Facts, USFL, and some kind of
Oh,
random
that's cool.
fact on each card. And then this guy here, he had 28 sacks. He was the defensive player of the year that year, John Corker. So another guy, didn't make the NFL really, but in the USFL he flourished.
Yeah.
And then this is one of Royce and I's favorite players, Johnny Walton.
Yep.
He played in the NFL. He was a backup quarterback for the Eagles in the 70s. And then he retired, and he came out of retirement and was the quarterback for the Breakers for a couple of years, and then he was their coach,
Oh wow.
their QB coach for their third year. So that's one of our favorite guys and one of our favorite cards, and we just really love that Breakers logo. How the
Yeah.
sea is kind of breaking and the waves are going over. It's a little different.
Yeah.
And the
So
cool thing
that's
is,
that.
Aaron and I went to the Hall of Fame this past summer, a year ago, and they have a whole black college wing kind of, and he was pictured in the Hall of Fame. Johnny Walton was, so we were stoked to see our guy in the Hall of Fame. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a bust there, but he was in that wing of the
At
Hall
least,
of Fame.
yeah, he's remembered, and yeah, like you said, he's got the attributes up there on the wall.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And then the other set was the 85. So this had the red, white, and blue, but a little bit different in these little stripes here.
That's what I remember.
And a little more block coloring. So there's my guy Jim Kelly,
Yeah.
who my Bills drafted, and he was like, "It's too cold up there. I want to go to Houston."
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he,
That's
yeah, but he was
exactly.
about to sign, and the secretary in the Bills offices said, "Jim's got a phone call." Jim Kelly was about to sign his contract. And they said, okay, let's let him take the phone call. It was the Gamblers calling him at the Bills facility.
Yeah.
And so then he said, yeah, I'm not going to sign. He went down and signed with the Gamblers.
Isn't it funny? Like a guy that's so revered in Buffalo, did not want to play in Buffalo.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
is
and
that
he's
amazing?
like,
Like just the fact that the guy like that can change his mind and endure all these fans around him. I mean, he's a legend in Buffalo.
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
now
mean,
he's a Buffalo guy. He still lives there,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
at first
but he's embraced it as well. So
yeah, he did not want to do it. But this is the back of that one. See the field goal there,
yeah,
and then this is that year that he set all those
yeah,
records with 5,200 yards and 44
yeah.
touchdowns.
That's how I remember. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you could also thank Marv Levy and Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed. I mean, those guys.
yeah,
I
Great
mean,
team. Yeah.
yeah. And
But
then
that
there
record
was
that he set that year lasted until 2011 when Drew Brees broke it. Yards
correct.
passing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it was a pretty amazing year, and he got a lot of education in the USFL with that run and shoot offense. So
Yes.
then
Yes.
when the Bills did the K gun, it was like, hey, yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah,
So he
he
already kind
loved
of
that.
knew that. And then this is another example. This is some quality airbrushing right there. That's Brian Sipe
Brian Sipe.
of the
Wow, look at him.
Browns. Yep. And then he went from the Generals to the Bulls, and then they airbrushed the heck out of him. His uniforms all
No,
airbrushed.
no.
His helmet.
Did Brian Sipe play in the NFL before he did
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he
So
did
he was with the Browns before. He was
for
actually
two or three
MVP.
years, right? Or 2 years, maybe.
No, he played in the NFL from like 74
Oh,
on
was
up
it?
through
Oh, that early?
82.
Okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was a longtime NFL guy, and he was the
Okay.
MVP in 1980.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
he
Because he played a
signed.
long time.
So he
Yeah.
was one of the first guys signing to the USFL that was a big name.
Yeah,
And so
that's right. That's what it
he was
was.
one of the first guys to start people recognizing that the USFL was actually, oh wow, they're getting him. Wow. So and then they got Herschel and it blew up from there. So
And then here's
Yeah.
another one of that year that's another pretty famous guy, Doug Williams,
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I
for
like
the
him.
Arizona Outlaws. And he was a good starting quarterback in Tampa Bay, and they just didn't want to pay him. And he got, instead of getting I forget what it was, 100,000 or something for Tampa Bay, he got like 3 million for these guys. So um,
Wow.
so they way up.
That Super Bowl was amazing. I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
it was awesome.
First
Royce, you want
starting
to show
black
that
quarterback.
Buccaneers card of him?
You have the 82 tops,
79
right?
tops or
82 tops. Was it Tampa Bay or was it
Yeah, it was
81?
Tampa Bay
Tampa Bay.
first. And then
Yep.
I think you have the 82, don't you, Royce?
Let me check. I don't know if I've got it.
That's a sweet
I've
one.
got it. Let me check.
I think I
I've
had that
got
one.
it. I don't have it handy. So, um, anyway, I thought I had it.
yeah. So Doug Williams started off with the Buccaneers, ended
Yeah.
up there in the USFL, and then made his way over to the Redskins. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
The
Redskins is where he won the Super Bowl.
Did he
the
play
Redskins signed a lot of the
after-
USFL guys.
Yep.
I was asked, did he play after the Redskins, or did he end his career with that team?
He finished up with the Redskins, yeah.
Yep.
Was that 85 when you were Super Bowl? Something like
That was the 85 Super Bowl, yeah.
85,
Against
yeah.
the Broncos.
And
88.
wasn't the running back the MVP of the? He was the MVP of the Super Bowl, right? But the running back had like 200 something yards.
Yeah.
Charlie something. Charlie, I can't
Tim
remember.
Smith.
What?
Yeah.
What's that?
Tim Smith.
Timmy Smith. Remember, he had like 230 yards rushing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
It was amazing.
fell off the face of the earth.
yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah, but the Redskins kind of believed in USFL guys, and they signed a lot of them. They signed Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark, and Kelvin Bryant.
Oh, Gary Clark. I mean, that was amazing.
So they took some of these USFL guys and were like, hey, if you did it over there, you can do it for us. And they
That's
made
right.
it work.
Well, let me ask: is there for the USFL? Is there a museum, or is there any type of enshrinement place where they have for their league back in the day, like the NFL does, or y'all know?
Unfortunately, no. There
Scary.
was a little bit of the Pro Football Hall of Fame does have some USFL material, like they had a Jim Kelly jersey, Jim Kelly helmet.
Okay.
So they've got it kind of mixed in a little bit, but there's no like USFL Hall of Fame. So you just have to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and seek it out, really, because it's kind of mixed in with all the NFL stuff a little bit.
Well,
Yeah,
with the advent, though, or the reinvention of the new league, the UFL, USFL merging and becoming the UFL, you would think that, yeah, they need to honor that tradition, that history, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's what we were saying when we were there is that they have some of it, but then sometimes, like you would see, um, say Johnny Walton, for instance, they would show his breakers stats and stuff on his little plaque that they had, but then they would have somebody like Kelly and it would start with the Bills. So it's hit and miss what the
Oh, okay.
Hall of Fame has done with it. Like it's there for some players and not for some. I wish they would just say they were playing pro football. They should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
But
Yeah.
are they associated on the same plane though? The USFL and the UFL and the XFL. I mean, can you compare them?
No, I
I
don't think
think
you
the
can
original
compare.
USFL. Oh, sorry, Royce. Go ahead.
Well, nowadays you can't, but back then,
I don't think you
85,
can. I'm not.
84,
I'm not sure.
85.
I'm not sure if it's the same for me. I mean, being an
Yeah.
older guy. So
Well, and that's a lot of people have that opinion too. But
okay.
for us, since we saw it live and we could tell we had been to Seahawks games, and it it's fast action football with, and frankly, a lot of those players were NFL players, NFL quality players, and they would even bring in like the Panthers in '83 brought in the Steelers offensive line. That's why they went to the championship that year. So it had, I mean, it's 1A and 1B, frankly. It's
Okay.
right there, that 80s USFL. Now it's more of a feeder league,
Yep.
unfortunately,
Right.
because
Right. It's like minor league, feeder league. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think
they're
in the
above arena
80s,
and stuff, but they're not quite there.
yeah, in the 80s they wanted to compete. They were signing Heisman's, they were wanting to be right there. And now they know they're kind of like, hey, this is our lane. We're gonna spend X amount on players and not go above that.
Yeah.
So now it's a really different one. But back then, they were signing, like you said, Mike Rozier, and they were signing NFL stars and stuff like that. And one interesting thing card wise with that same thing, the earlier cards from Tops would have their USFL stats.
Yes, they would.
Um,
Yeah, they would.
and this is a Herschel Walker, and all of his stats are combined.
Yeah.
So it's just got, combined total. And so it put his USFL right there. Then as it went on, this is pretty small to look at, but then they parse it out, USFL stats and then
Oh
NFL
yeah.
stats. So it'd be
Does
like,
anybody
here's
have
what he
any
did there, and
idea?
yeah.
Does anybody know how much Donald Trump paid Herschel Walker to play for the Generals? Does anyone have that'd be a good trivia question.
Yeah, that is. I know it's in the millions because
Yeah.
he
Probably.
took him right out of college. He
Yeah.
took him as a college junior, which the NFL wasn't doing. And they were like, we'll do it. And so they took
you're
him.
right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one
That's
other
cool.
interesting thing Tops did, Tops made this Tops Stadium Club set. And on the back of that, you'd have their rookie card. And a lot of these rookie USFL cards were on
Oh,
there.
I've seen that
They
before.
would
Yeah, that's cool.
acknowledge that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I like these ones a little bit better. This one had the smaller card. This one has the bigger card. This was, I think, 91.
Was that the first inkling of the USFL card on the back of a
Yeah.
okay, of a regular NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Top Stadium Club. I think it's 91 when they started that.
Okay.
And then it'll say on there what year it is and rookie card from that year. And then as you mentioned, Sam Mills, there's that
Yeah.
85 Sam Mills card on the back.
Yeah.
That is-
might be the one you
I'm
remember.
gonna go get that card. I like it.
That's a
that
cool
is,
card.
This is inspiring me. I like it. I need to
And
find my
then-
Flutie card. I can't believe I missed it. I don't know where it is. But I got a
Yeah.
lot of cards floating around. So
Yeah.
I was going to
I
mention
wanted
that.
to I wanted to show a 73 since that's Kelly's current set.
Yeah, that's what I'm
This
going
is
to ask
John
you.
Reeves. And this guy, he played for the Eagles. So that's a 73. He played for a few years and then he quit football and then he showed back up in the USFL. So here's his 84 card.
that's pretty cool.
Over
Yeah.
a decade later.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Yes.
well done, man. Well done. That's
Yeah.
pretty
And
cool.
then he's still sporting the single bar helmet there, if you notice that.
Yeah.
But kind of cool. Some of the players that were like, "Hey, we are aged out. We can't play in the USFL anymore or the NFL anymore." They showed back up in the.
Did
Like Coy
they
Bacon.
have a bar on South Street, maybe in Philly? You never know.
Yeah.
It could.
A couple of them I heard it was maybe drugs in the 70s too.
Yeah.
And then Royce and I have kind of a running gag with this guy Bruce Laird because all of his cards he looks kind of like my daughter playing sixth grade volleyball there. Like, hey, bend your knees, straighten up.
Good stance, right? Good
Yeah,
left.
so he's got this stance. He always, I'm sure he's a good athlete, but he always just looks a little off. So there's one of his earlier
it's a little
cards.
off. That's right.
Yeah. Here's his 74 tops for the Colts, and then here he is for the Oklahoma Outlaws a decade later.
Man, that is awesome.
Still doesn't have a Hollywood face there.
Hey, let me ask you guys: do you guys still seek? You guys go to card shows and seek out USFL cards and try to pick up different things, or do you have a collector's? Do you have like a collecting path that you guys do for USFL? I mean, what keeps you interested in like USFL right now?
For me, I was trying to get a card of every significant USFL player, whether it was a USFL card or an NFL card. Because once you got the USFL set, you got it. So
Yeah.
I've got both sets kind of twice over, almost, except the big names. Because my local card shop they had a drawer of 84s for just a quarter. So I was like,
Oh wow,
sweet, I'm getting them all.
take them all. I'll take the whole drawer.
So I bought a bunch of those. And then I told you I got that set from eBay, and then
Yep.
nobody really has them at card shows. I've been to a few card shows here in Portland. Nobody's got any. So it's more online or going on to eBay. But I'll collect like anybody that ever played in the USFL. If they've got an NFL card, I want to get those. So there's Greg Landry. That's one of my favorite cards, by the way, because all the mud.
Tops too, man, and he's all muddied up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this guy.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, nice.
There you go.
Man.
That's for you, Roy. That's for you.
Perfect.
These are great, aren't they, man?
And you know what ties us in, Royce?
Classic.
It's like, remember the Ahmad Rashad card you talked about? I mean,
Yeah.
he says he started doing television casting.
Oh, nice.
But before he did his career with, well, I can't remember her name, but it was
Real people.
The real people.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
real
I'll say
people.
real life.
Yeah.
About real people. 1981, I think. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's awesome.
That was good stuff.
I hate to be the party crasher guy, but
All good.
we've got about
We can go all night, dude.
yeah, I was gonna say we've got about a minute left.
Okay.
Definitely need to do this again, Royce, Aaron. I had a lot of fun. I hope y'all did too. Y'all want to do any social plugs before we get out of here?
I will real quick. I have a YouTube channel called Viking Wax Press where I do UFL related stuff, but I also do helmet ranking videos, and I've started to do some card videos. So I'm going to be doing more card videos coming up, more helmet ranking videos, and during the season, I've covered the showboats for the Alternative Football Network. So
Yeah, I'll play link
that's my
in our
plug.
show notes as well on YouTube
Perfect.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I am not as technologically savvy as Royce, so I'm cutting and pasting and making my own cards.
Nice.
Some of these
All right,
obscure players,
you
like
wrapped
that's
up.
the
You
only
need to send it,
picture,
man.
and I'm trying to make cards that don't exist of all the old players. So
Of the guys you like that didn't quite make it.
yeah,
Yeah.
no card was ever made, so I'm making my own.
Why not?
Hey, well, gentlemen, we will do this again, and on that,
Yeah.
we better get. Well, Patrick, man, that was a blast with Aaron and Royce and talking USFL and all them cards.
Yeah,
That
it's
was a
pretty
good
cool,
time,
man. It was great. We could have went all night, Kelly. That was
Yeah, I don't
awesome.
know if the internet would like that. We'd be there for another 2 hours.
Hey, the internet's there for a reason.
Yes, let's keep going with the bandwidth. Well, speaking of bandwidth, mine's about to explode with all this news about SGC.
Dude.
Apparently, with PSA moving into basically their complex, there in Boca Raton, their returns on your orders, submitting cards, the returns are no longer like 10 business days.
No, it's taken 30 days now.
Yeah,
I heard that.
definitely, going increased time on the return on your submissions. And then most recently, I don't know if you heard about this, man, but for bulk submitters, SGC says that they're no longer going to honor their, the discount rate for these bulk submitters on their behalf for SGC.
Yeah, that's amazing to me because, I mean, so are they trying to prevent people from doing like the PSA, like the graded sets, like the PSA special graded sets of like, say, a 75 tops?
You talking like registry stuff, or you talking?
Yeah, the registry stuff completely. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
SGC doesn't have one of those.
I know they don't, and I don't think I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
That's my because I have an 84 tops football set I want to get done. I had this wild dream the other night. I woke up. I was going to SGC 8 everybody. Dan Marino, John Elway, Eric Dickerson. I was like, that's a great idea. Woke up, heard your news. I'm like, well, why should I do that? Why should I submit it to SGC? What's the benefit besides that in PSA? I have no idea.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean that's what are they doing? That is my
huh,
question. Like, if you're taking longer to return submissions, and apparently according to GymRate.com, they're getting fewer submissions, and now
right.
they're saying, hey, we don't want the bulk submissions.
So, I mean, does it make sense to get anything graded by SGC in bulk or like a set like that anymore?
But what they're saying
Can't,
is like, let's say Patrick, you are a guy that sends cards to SGC on the behalf of like a certain number of customers. And they say, hey, you know what? You get like X amount of cards submitted. We're going to give you a discount. So instead of it being like $15, it might be $12. So
okay.
that, the submitter can make a couple of dollars as well. SGC says that they're no longer going to honor and accept discounted, that discounted rate to bulk submitters.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like the PC guy, like 132 cards from USFL. I want to get them all graded SGC
At,
7 or
at,
higher.
one, at one time?
I mean, like, or just like 20, 30 at a time or
Well,
something like that.
okay, so
And
yeah,
you're not giving me a discount. I mean, like, what's the incentive to do SGC? I mean, you're not going to grade any higher. It may look better, but I don't
yeah.
know.
What I'm saying though is, let's say there's a card shop that, instead of you submitting two on your own, card shop might say, "Hey, man, we're going to submit your two with all these other customers. But here's the price we're offering you. We're going to maybe clean up the cards for free.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll send
print
you
them off."
300.
And SGC would say, you know what? Instead of $15 a card, you're a bulk submitter submitting 100 cards, card shop guy. So we're going to charge you 12. So the card shop guy can make $2 or $3, per.
Right. Yeah, but wow, but now not anymore then. I mean, that's
No, according to SGC, there's no incentive for a bulk submitter it might cost them more money to submit because they're not making any.
okay. Let me ask you this: are they trying to like take SGC and make it to a next level type of grading system? Like, are they trying to make it like better than what's out there already? Like, okay, we can't do bulk grading, so whatever you grade, your SGC value is going to go up to PSA, or are they just trying to eliminate SGC completely?
That's a collector's universe question. The parent company, right? I don't have that
It's
answer, man.
scary because I mean, I love SGC. I mean, I love the way they look, but if you're telling me that it's going to be cost more for me to like get some cards graded, and if I'm a like I said, I'm a collector, I'm a dealer. I'm a dealer for sure. I'm like, okay, wait, time out. I'll just go back to PSA. That's fine. They offer
Well,
me 15 bucks.
I mean, PSA has their advantages and their disadvantages, as does Beckett, as does SGC, as does, some of the other card grading companies. You can throw in CGC and Tag. But the question though is like, if you're no longer offering the discount, like,
Yeah.
what's the incentive if you're a card shop to send your cards to SGC on behalf of your customers?
Right. 100 cards at $3 a card discount. That's $300. Dude, that's a lot of money.
Maybe collectors are saying, you know what? We'll just take all the money since we own PSA and SGC. We'll just take more profit.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I think it's as a PC guy, I mean, what if I want to submit 10 cards? I have to pay 15 bucks a card.
Well, as a
That's
normal paying customer, yes. However, if you were to submit them through a third party that's submitting on your behalf, maybe they say, Patrick, your price is 14, and maybe they only make $2 profit per card. But now that's just all gone. It's, hey, Patrick, you pay 15, and card shop guys who submits 100 pays 15. So
so
there's no incentive to do any bulk submissions.
as a businessman, I see it as like making more revenue, building up the brand, increasing the value of the total brand of SGC, and then doing something with it in the future, maybe as a corporate takeover or selling it off or something like that as a
Well, they
segment of
they were bought
PSAs,
out. Obviously, they were
see
bought
it
out
as a
2 years
PSA
ago. So
business segment. I don't know. It's different.
yeah.
It's a different strategy, Kelly. I mean, I'm not sure what to think of it, but
Well,
I don't like.
and there was that rumor, like, hey, SGC won't be around in 3 years.
That's
And,
exactly what I'm talking about.
and
That's
now it's
just
kind
the
of
stepping
almost like,
stones.
is it coming to fruition? And
These are stepping
why?
stones towards that. Inflate it, get the cost up because it's not $10 anymore or $12. It's 15. Actually, it's $18 next year. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Really? Okay.
Yeah, just get all the juice, keep squeezing, right?
Build the revenue up. That's right.
Well, yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, it- SGC, like, they have a huge collector base, a huge fanfare, but I'm baffled. Like, if
It,
there was a way to do things to to distance yourself from your customers, they're doing a good job at it, and I'm baffled.
it slows me down from submitting. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I wonder if
I mean,
BGS fills in the gap, or a different company, a CGC or a tag. So,
I just hope BGS doesn't sit on the laurels and just wait and go, oh, we're BGS. We can do whatever we want. They have to get aggressive. I think they have to get aggressive.
as you know, Patrick, I'm slab-gnostic as it gets, man. I mean, I like PSA, I like
Glad
CGC, I like BGS. I'm not like
I'm not a PSA fan. I'm an
I'm
SGC,
not OCD to the
BGS.
point where it has to all be the same. I think that each company has its merits, but you don't want to see a company that builds up its customer base, like, try to get rid of its customer base. That's a new one, man.
Well,
I've never studied that in economics in all my years.
okay.
How
So
to upset your customer?
what if PSA comes out with the tuxedo look?
Yeah, they could.
I mean, they introduced it. They go introduce the new tuxedo PSA, and they don't even mention SGC. It just kind of folds away. It just kind of falls apart. You never know. Wow, it could happen.
Well,
That's it.
when you get the crystal ball, let me know, Patrick, about that. All right, just
I don't know, but I've got money to
let's
spend right
see.
now. I want to get stuff graded. Let's go. Fredlin rookie. Let's go. I mean, Dale Murphy. Come on.
Well,
I got
man,
to get it done.
I think we've ranted and raved on trying to figure out what SGC is doing. SGC, if you want to send us some press releases and keep us in the loop, that'd be great too. Or collectors, you own both PSA and SGC, so
Yes.
just a heads up, man.
Chime in.
Curious,
Chime in, guys.
definitely. And viewers of the show, let us know what you're thinking. Throw a
Yeah.
comment or throw it there on our Facebook page on CardBlitz, or reach out to us via email, right?
Yeah, that's right. How do people feel about it? I mean, let us know exactly because it's opinionated topic. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Well, let me stump you before you fall asleep on air, right?
Me?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you got to get insane in the membrane here. Here we go. Look at that. Money.
Someone hand, someone said, "Here's some change for you." I go, yeah, I'm gonna think about that. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, go ahead and get that graded and see what happens, man.
That's oh, that's sweet, dude. Kelly, well done. It's an SGC.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Well, here we go, man. It's we just ended the women's college World Series with softball last week.
Yep.
And Texas was crowned champion, first title ever. But let's go and talk baseball, men's version,
Ooh.
college World Series.
Oh man. Okay, this will be tricky. All right, go ahead.
Oh, it's a good stuffer, I promise you.
That's a good one.
All right. So the first college World Series was played in 1947. Which school captured the inaugural crown? Which university took the first college World Series title?
Okay, I have something that popped in my head, but I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
Go
you're
ahead.
going to get your obligatory four choices. I have to give you
Should I
those.
throw it out there, Kelly, just for the fans?
You're just going to throw out a school.
Yale. I'm gonna say Yale. Go ahead.
Yale.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
very good at college football back in the day.
Okay.
But 1947 is, just 75 years ago or so,
Yeah,
right?
we'll see. Okay, go ahead.
All right, here are your four choices. Is it A, Texas, Is it B, Oklahoma? Is it C, Mississippi State? Is it D, California?
Wow.
Who you going with?
Hmm.
First College World Series title, the inaugural
First ever.
round. First ever, 1947.
Let's see. I always think of football when I think of schools this old.
This is
And
baseball.
I know it's baseball, but I think of it and I think of it in a was Mississippi State even a powerhouse back then? California is a wild card because it's out west. So I'm going to go with my Patrick deductive reasoning, A and B, one or two between them. I'm going to go with Oklahoma B.
Oklahoma. And the stats say that you are like 37.2% of America. And you are wrong.
Oh,
The correct answer are those Golden Bears of California.
oh, it's a wild card. It was a wild card. It was the D. Oh, 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 oh.
Hey, good try, man. And I love hearing your logic, man,
I
and
was trying to
deductive
work it through,
reasoning.
man. I was working it through, guys.
It was good, man.
Sometimes the wild card is there because Kelly puts it out there like a
Oh,
little
I try to
fantasy
change
tip,
it up for you, man.
and other times it means nothing. He's tricky,
Oh
guys.
man.
Watch him. Watch him.
Definitely, man. Well, on that note, man, I guess we should wrap up this episode and certainly thank our viewers for watching. The subscribers keep joining, telling their friends, give us that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Follow us on Facebook at CardBlitz, Instagram at CardBlitz Show. Always reach out, email info at blitzweekly.com. Patrick, take it away, man.
Yeah, you're right, guys. Right. And anytime you guys think of like the original of college baseball, college World Series of women's softball, think California. Apparently, all I'm saying, UCLA and California Bears. They
Well, we will
dominated back in the day. And
yeah,
I'm out.
on the softball side, but definitely on the men's side, the Golden Bears took it, man.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, sir. And
Later, guys.
we
See you
are
next
out.
time.
All right, take care, man.